Hey there marvelous viewers, welcome back to the channel. We're back talking about The Boys again. In today's video, we're talking about why did Soldier Boy get emotional after Quinn's death? Let's get into it. After all that I've seen across the 5 seasons of The Boys, and the even more brutal comic series, it takes a lot to rattle me. And yet the 4th episode of Season 5, King of Hell, managed to leave me shocked. The narrative introduced one of the most disturbing and grotesque creations in the show, and it's a kind of body horror that makes you squirm in your seats. Yes, I'm talking about Quinn, the inbuilt Vought horror that reminds you once again how terribly things can go wrong with Compound V. The episode ends with the death of Quinn at the hands of Soldier Boy, and what really struck me was the reaction that followed, where the supposedly heartless Soldier Boy almost mourned his death. In this video, I'll dive into the details of this mysterious Quinn and his connection with Soldier Boy that apparently made him so emotional. So the episode begins with the quest to find the original Compound V that was administered to Soldier Boy. It has been learned that the mechanism of the original Compound V is the reason behind the soup's immunity to the deadly soup-killing virus. And now, both Homelander and the boys are keen to get their hands on the leftover samples of the original V. Homelander seeks to attain immortality by eliminating his aging aside from the immunity to the virus, and Butcher wants to get it before him to continue with his plan of soup extermination. The likes of Huey and Frenchie want to get it for Starlight and Kimiko so that they survive the doomsday for the soups when the virus is unleashed on a large scale. The stakes are high, and the only lead that they have is an old Vought facility called Fort Harmony, which has now been abandoned. The boys head out there and are followed by Homelander and Soldier Boy. Immediately, you can tell that something is wrong about the place that's currently in ruins. There are corpses strewn around, and it's been overrun by roots and vines. And soon, Frenchie discovers that something in the place makes the people there turn against each other in a violent frenzy. But he fails to stop Butcher, Huey, and Kimiko from fighting each other, and it almost goes to a point where they're willing to slaughter each other. Meanwhile, Homelander and Soldier Boy also arrive at the place, and it seems like even Homelander is slightly affected by the hateful vibe of Fort Harmony. He gets locked up by Soldier Boy in a soup-proof room filled with radiation, and as Soldier Boy continues to explore the place, he encounters Frenchie, and together, they spot something mind-blowing. Embedded in the walls of one of the rooms is a humanoid figure, and Soldier Boy recognizes him as Quinn, a former Vought test subject. It turns out that Quinn was once a great soldier who volunteered to be among the first test subjects for Compound V trials during the 1940s. He underwent the trials along with Soldier Boy, and they didn't get along so well because Quinn never saw him as someone who deserves to be in the same league as him. Back then, Soldier Boy was just a privileged rich kid who had it easy, while Quinn had to work for his place. However, as luck would have it, Soldier Boy became a successful example of adapting perfectly to V1, and this led to a lot of jealousy and resentment in Quinn. He openly said that Soldier Boy didn't deserve what he got, and it only became worse for him because he couldn't adapt to the V1. Quinn mutated into a plant-like human hybrid, and he somehow ended up rooted into the Fort Harmony building, where he remained for all this time. He released spores from his minds that could induce feelings of hate and resentment in anyone who came near the facility, and even soups were not immune to this effect. Frenchie realized that killing Quinn is the only way to get the others to stop fighting, and he tricks Soldier Boy into unleashing his nuclear blast, which obliterates Quinn. Now, Soldier Boy, who was seemingly hateful when he first encountered Quinn, seems like a changed man after he realizes that he's killed him. One could argue that this only ended Quinn's misery, but Soldier Boy could be seen sitting in the room shell-shocked. He was mourning the death of Quinn, and when Homelander arrives fuming, ready to blast him with his laser beams, Soldier Boy doesn't even try to defend himself. This makes me wonder about the kind of history that the two might have shared. Firstly, I think we can all agree that Soldier Boy and Quinn were closer than he says during his brief conversation with Frenchie. Soldier Boy isn't the kind of person to be depressed over killing something, but at the same time, he definitely isn't as much of a hateful maniac as Homelander. I guess it was him who actually was jealous of Quinn and not the other way around. It's been revealed that Soldier Boy was jealous of his overachieving brother, and he wasn't anything to write home about before achieving his superpowers. Quinn, on the other hand, was one of the finest soldiers, and a deserving applicant who signed up for the experiment. I guess deep down, Soldier Boy knew that Quinn deserved to be a famous superhero more than he ever did, and maybe their friendship was affected by his overwhelming jealousy. I might be stretching things a bit here, but maybe Soldier Boy somehow tampered with the dose administered to Quinn to make sure that it failed. This would mean that Soldier Boy would remain the most powerful soup and the poster boy of Vought, while Quinn would be a forgotten abomination. Now, after accidentally killing Quinn, it might be the extreme guilt that makes him so very emotional. It's the first time in the show that I've seen Soldier Boy give up on life, and even Homelander loses the enthusiasm to laser him and get his revenge for being locked up. Lastly, I know this is the wildest theory of all, but what if Quinn is actually related to Soldier Boy? What if he's the brother that Homelander earlier spoke about, the one who was always better than Soldier Boy at everything? The loss almost seems personal when Soldier Boy sits there in silence, and it could be the sense of losing someone related by blood. Whatever the actual case, I think it's safe to say that Quinn was not just some random colleague for Soldier Boy, because his reaction would have been very different in that case. I hope the next episode reveals more regarding this, but honestly, that's unlikely, and we might have to live with the mystery, because no such thing happens in the comic books. I'd love to hear your take on the matter in the comments below, and let me know what you think about Quinn and the reaction of Soldier Boy after killing him. If you appreciate our efforts to bring you this content, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more such videos.